What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Kofi Kingston, aka 1/3 of the New Day. You're not gonna say it with me, sir? Yeah, come on, you better participate. Let's try it again. 1/3 of the New Day, and you are watching The Young and the Wrestlers. Ha 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 ha.
Welcome to The Young and the Wrestlers, the Pop Culture's WWE podcast, the show that takes a look at the soap opera nature of the WWE. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan Betson, alongside...
Oh, my hole! I'm Jem. I had to.
This is, as I said, our weekly WWE in review show, and it comes at you usually every Thursday morning at 8 a.m. on your podcast services, 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. However, today is one day late. Apologies once again. These things happen. Life gets in the way, and we do apologize. If you want to support the show, if you want to join that wrestling conversation, you can by heading over to facebook.com/groups/thepopculture, as well as Twitter, Instagram, Discord. All those links are in the down below area, including our Twitter handles if you want to come chat to us on Twitter. If you want to support the show, you can. If you want to join the conversation live, you can at twitch.tv/thepopculture, where you can join the chat, become part of the show, and just have that good mark out chat that we like to have. If you want to support the show, you can. You tell your friends, tell your family about this wrestling pod. If you are on the podcast services, be sure to give us a 5-star rating and a written review. Or if you are on the, what's it called? The other one? The YouTubes. Be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment below. I endeavor to answer every single comment. If you want to support us financially, you can at patreon.com/popculturist, as well as our merchandise store, popculturist.com/shop, where you can buy shirts and other sort of shit without logos on it. Now, the one thing that's already been brought up in chat, Jem, is you got yourself some slick new hair.
I do, yes. I'm feeling pretty in pink.
Buddy in the chat says, cool hair, Jem.
Thank you.
And he says, Ryan, also cool hair, just not as cool. So my hair is the same as it's ever been.
Yeah.
See, my
It's not pink.
Yeah, I've had the same haircut since I was 14. So you haven't. You've got nice pink hair.
Thanks for the mention, buddy. I am over the moon with it. It's like a pinky rose goldy color.
It's quite nice.
It was, just a sudden whim after work on Friday last week.
So it's because not all the hair, you've got a little bit of the end, what's it called? The roots are a bit browny.
Yeah, but what we're doing is we're going to grow that out further so it looks like a multicolored balayage.
Oh, a balayage.
It's called a balayage. We've put the pink through the roots as well, so they've got that pink tinge to them. So I'm really...
Yeah, I'm really feeling that like... there's like that sort of early 2000s vibe, where you had the different colored roots the rest of your hair.
Yeah.
Except,
living my best Liv Morgan life.
That's true. Like, you were already looking like Liv Morgan,
delinquent.
and now you've just doubled down on it. Yeah, as the middle-aged delinquent, and there is nothing wrong with that. Buddy actually has got the Alexa Bliss vibes going for back in the day. Mm. But yeah, I think you've got the sort of the best attributes of Alexa Bliss with a little bit of Liv Morgan in there as well. And I'm just putting it out there. Not a bad combination to have.
Yeah.
I've got just curly hair on the body of Kevin Owens. I'm not doing well comparatively.
Which is apparently a thing now.
Yeah.
Everybody's
But could be a thing. But regardless of that, how have you been, Jem?
Yeah, good, man. It's been a crazy sort of week. Things have been all over the place, but put it all back together now and we're doing peachy. How about you?
I'm doing all right, man. I said I've come to. If you follow me on Twitter, you've people are following my weight loss / fitness journey. Things have taken a turn this week in a better, actually. I don't know what I talked about last week, but I've since signed up for the gym, so that's now part of my daily weekly plan. And additionally, I've come to learn that I can fucking run.
Yeah.
So I've
can't even do that.
I've never been able to run ever at all. But I was on the treadmill doing some just walking just to sort of warm up ahead of the weights that I had planned. So I was still and I was like, well, I want to warm up before I do the weights, right? So I was like, I'll go on the treadmill, and I'm feeling it. I'm going, let's see if I can run. Because the treadmill seems fine. Like I was feeling pretty limber.
You don't know unless you try.
Yeah, and I was like, let's give it a go. And I was doing it, and I wasn't dying, and I wasn't running out of breath. I'm like, well, let's see how long I can do this for. And it turns out I can run for at least 30 minutes flat at about
Awesome.
at around 7.5 Ks.
That's not bad.
I don't know what that means. Whether that's good, that's bad, I don't know. But to
good.
me,
It means your lungs are good.
I'm fucking stoked on it.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
Because cardio is a big thing for weight loss as well. So that's awesome.
It's a massive thing, and I think that's what's been a massive part of, because I've been doing a slow cardio build with the likes of sort of all the walking that I've done in 2020 and all the sort of the weight loss that went with that. And then just overall, and then like yoga it's all about breathing. It's like all these different things have all come together. And I did it. So I've done it 3 days this week. I didn't do it today. I'm like, shit. I probably don't want to put my body in a shock. I probably should have a day of not doing it. But yeah, so I'll go back tomorrow and I'll do it again. And then tomorrow is chest and bicep day.
Nice.
No, shoulders and tries is tomorrow. Chest. Oh wait, no, fuck. What is it? I don't know. My phone. My phone will tell me, but which is all good. So what I did on Tuesday is I was watching Raw while running, and it was a great combo. The only downside was like getting all sweaty in my head, and the headphones doing a hot mess. And James in the chat, not my son James, thankfully, because that'd be weird. Friend of the show, James says, "Woo, hit them weights, smash that cardio." Yeah, he and I actually go to the same gym. I've come to learn, which is cool. And Buddy says, "Congrats on the gym, killing it, dude. Thank you so much." Because it is one of those things, like, I know we'll get into the actual wrestling part in just a moment, but it is one of those things. And the reason I talk about it everywhere is because A, I'm proud, and two, it makes me accountable. And like, I can't do it in secret. You know what I mean? And I'll admit I'm a fucking piece of shit, and I need external validation at the best times.
Yeah.
So
it's humans.
having that helps, because it's one of those things like, I've been shit for so long. It's cool to not be shit.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, I've started getting back into the gym and stuff as well, so I know how good it can feel. Yeah,
it does certainly feel fantastic. Yeah. And like, it was one of those things where it was like the body feeling that I had after I did it. Like, it was likely just the sensation of blood moving around my body, but it was fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, it's healthy.
It was awesome. But yeah, as I said, I was watching Raw, so that was entertaining. And like, it actually made the run go super, super well, because I'm like, oh man, I've watched so much Raw.
Yeah, you fly through it.
Speaking of Raw, let's get into the show. Let's talk about that wrestling. We'll kick things off because we're not. Hang on. Oh, I had to breathe for a second. I didn't do much breathing. I was talking about how good I am at breathing. Not so much right now. We no longer separate the shows. No. We just talk about everything that happened in the week. Yeah. So we're just going to go down to the storylines that take our interest. It may sway us one way, it may sway us the other way, but it's wherever we want to go. Jem, where should we start this week? Now, the title of this episode is all about Nia Jax's hole. Do we want to start with that?
I think we should lead into Nia Jax.
I think we should lead in with Nia Jax's hole. All right. So in a match that was not advertised, that was even remotely speculated of happening, we had a tables match. And it was a tables match between Nia Jax and Lana, sort of following on from the 9 times that Lana got put through a table, which smartly so, we thought was going to end at tables, ladders, and chairs in December. Yeah. Turns out it didn't. Oh. Turns out it got fucking pushed for no reason. And then Lana was injured, allegedly, at the hands of Nia Jax, which is unsurprising. To then having it involved with Rumble, and then now this. So obviously this is the full stop in presumably this one-on-one feud between Nia and Lana, but mostly because Nia Jax blew out her asshole.
It's just perfect the way it happens, because like, she had to have known she was on live worldwide television. And she screams at the top of her lungs, "Ow, my hole." And all you see behind her as Lana gets out of the ring is Lana's face just huge laugh.
So-
massive laugh. Not even hiding it.
Let's give some context.
Yeah.
They're having their match. You know, obviously, as with a table match, the rules are very clear. Put someone through a table.
Yes.
They scurried around the ring. There was a lot of around on the apron, like trying to throw them into the nearest table. Lana eventually got onto the apron. Nia tried to do her not so full of effort leg drop. Instead, she blew out her asshole on the edge. Like she just douche, and you see her just wince and then proceed to say, I think she says my butt at one point, and then yells about her hole.
Oh my
now,
God.
as some like once again, this is the thing. So due to my weight loss, right, my tailbone hurts all the time. Apparently, rapid weight loss removes all the protective cushion of your tailbone. Right now, I'm sitting on a cushion just so my ass doesn't hurt in this seat. So I understand ass pain. Ass pain sucks. And the idea, like, sitting on a seat too long can hurt my ass, let alone dropping onto the apron, which, as we all know, Jem, hardest part of the ring. I understandable. And then, of course, during that scuffle, Lana comes, fucking pushes her through the table. She gets out, and then we get into a match between Naomi and Shayna Baszler. And then the commentary mentioned that she has been taken to a local medical facility because of her asshole.
I mean, it's fine. It's nice that, you know, the only person Nia Jax injured this time was herself.
Which is true.
It's a little bit of karma coming around, but my God, it's fucking hilarious. Like, she's never going to live it down.
And of course, the internet had an absolute blast with this.
Meme City.
The second that it happened, I didn't watch Raw live, but I knew about this before I even started watching Raw. Because the internet, as they do, they ran with it and they went to town on it. Simpsons wrestling memes, which is a brand new Twitter, which is a fantastic Twitter account, by the way. They had a blast.
Yeah.
Everyone was just coming in with variants of like my neck, my back, my hole. You know, like that was fantastic. There was a clip of Bully Ray on Impact talking about his balls getting wrecked. Some woman complaining about her vag, and then and then Nia Jax's hole.
Like, my hole.
But there was a lot of fun. How do you feel about this whole damage, Jem?
On the whole, I thought it was pretty good. No, I think it's sheer comedy. Like, first of all, it's karma because Nia Jax normally injures everybody else. So to see her like taking herself out is hilarious. I kind of want to know the extent to how badly she blew out Uranus. Like, please give me all the info. But like, it's just so funny. I think the funniest part for me is I watched it back so many times just to see Lana's face because her reaction to the whole thing is hilarious as well.
It may be slightly better than the whole.
Yeah, it's just that little bit. It's just that like icing on the cake, definitely.
The thing that's...
And then Lana getting the win is obviously...
it puts that in the hole. And knowing that Lana has a tag team title shot up, her and Naomi won an opportunity last week. There's also that down the line as well. So there's a lot to be said in this moment.
Both Naomi and Lana did win, so that puts them in a position to be be worthy opponents for Jax and Baszler.
Yeah, so they won the opportunity and then they reaffirmed it with 2 singles matches. So it's looking good.
Yeah, just so long as Jax's asshole isn't blown out too bad.
Yeah, so what I'm hoping is that she comes with next week with like an ice pack on her butt. Or like a butt cast, or the cushion that I know well. Those cushions I know well. You know, her own little comes out to the ring, belt on one hand, cushion the other.
Sits on the chair, like puts it down in the chair on commentary and has to sit on it. They could do so much with this.
They cool.
They could just.
However, not everyone has been as hot on Nia Jax's hole as we or the internet are. So in a replay for Raw, it has since been removed. They cut the mention of the hole. And of course, because they just can't seem to enjoy themselves, Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez weren't happy. They chewed the hole. They gave it a bunch of shit. Because they just refuse to enjoy. If it's the second it's WWE, they don't care. They're going to shit on it.
Yeah.
Like, this... Is this serious wrestling? No. Of course it isn't. They fucking reference their asshole.
That's the appeal.
You know what I mean? But, like, other companies can... Like, an example. Fucking Talk and Shop Mania.
Yeah.
2 characters based entirely around their dicks.
Mm-hmm.
That is fine. But Nia Jax references that she may have an asshole. No, it's fucking unforgivable. That's not what wrestling is.
Yeah, of course.
Get
Can't
fucked.
stand anything they do.
But, you know, fucking Kenny Omega talked about his asshole. Fucking 5 stars in the Tokyo Dome, that one. 5 brown stars. Brown eyes. Either way.
Jesus.
The fucking... You're going to make me laugh. Any reference of an asshole and I'm going to chuckle. So shout out to WWE for this week for creating a moment that if this doesn't create some sort of legacy or a shirt, I need that shirt. Okay, you get into the next story. I'll see if there's a shirt about Nia Jax.
Oh, you can guarantee Vinnie Mac was backstage pissing himself as well. Vince would have thought it was hilarious. He loves toilet humor.
Big fan.
Big fan. Let's have a look. See what here. Okay.
What do you got for us, Jem? What's another thing that happened?
So we saw some more Bad Bunny, Damian Priest, stuff go on. So yeah, there was a match. It was Damian Priest and Angel Garza, who was with Reckoning, I believe.
Potentially.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, he beat Garza with the Reckoning.
That's right.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that that's his move. But yeah, so obviously Bad Bunny was in Priest's corner. Miz and Morrison, for some reason, were in Angel Garza's corner. And Bad Bunny managed to get the Money in the Bank briefcase again and threw it in, sending Miz and Morrison in. And then they're ejected from ringside as a result, which caused Priest to finish off and distract Garza. So, I mean, I'm stoked to see more Damian Priest. Cool for that. But I feel like this is kind of falling a bit flat because if we want him to be a force to be reckoned with, I feel like he needs to do it on his own, not with the interruption of Bad Bunny.
Yeah, I'm still unsure why Bad Bunny's been involved. Now, it's been sold on the premise that they are bros. And I'm sure that could be the case, but I'm not feeling it. And then they're doing somewhat of the right thing, right? And this is where I feel like they've put Garza. Garza we haven't seen in weeks.
Yeah, no.
The best thing we've seen him do is be part of the 24/7 loser locker room, chase, right? And that's cool, and that's fine. However, to have him come out here and just get mushed is kind of exactly what I expected to happen. Right, and I'm happy with that because Damian Priest should and needs to get some wins under his belt before whatever happens. So that to me is a thumbs up. It's just this weird with this whole Bad Bunny thing. Now I understand. Once again, he is not in our demo because he is of Latino Spanish descent. So and therefore he's very popular within that scene. So unless it's WWE attempting to hit that market, which because I don't believe that Damian Priest is of that descent.
He was speaking Spanish with Bad Bunny the other week, so he may be.
Okay, well, I'll have a look in that, but like that is certainly possible. It's just that weird sort of combination because I remember we thought that he was of Samoan descent, like part of that dynasty, but I don't believe he is. I remember we were going, and then we were shocked by his heritage.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure he has some form of Latin American, Hispanic background, that sort of demographic, I think, because he was speaking Spanish with Bad Bunny.
Cool. Well, it's very if that's the case, then that makes sense. Once again, it's a situation that's not appealing to us. And that's fine. It's in the same way that like the Hurt Business as a collective aren't really there for us. As fucking white people, in Australia. Like, they aren't for us, and that's fine. But one thing that I was all about was the United States Championship opportunity.
I was just about to say things.
Matt Riddle, Keith Lee.
I was about to say the exact same thing.
2 dudes that I'm incredibly hot on, and it was awesome.
Yeah. So, it was Lee versus Riddle. Lee did get the win. With MVP, obviously, always on commentary for some damn reason. I believe the match was supposed to be winner gets the title shot.
Winner gets the title shot at Chamber, which is fine.
Yes. But what happens is at the end of the match, obviously Lashley attacks both of them. It ends up becoming a three-way.
Yeah, so we're getting a triple threat for the United States Championship at Elimination Chamber, which is cool. Once again, because whoever wins, aside from Bobby Lashley, I'm 100% in on Keith. Yeah. I'm hoping.
I think Keith.
I'm either hoping this ends in some sort of DQ finish, then we get a match at, say, Mania, and Keith wins at Mania. That is what I would be doing. Now, granted, we'll have presumably Fastlane between then and then, but or maybe have Keith go into Mania with the United States Championship.
That would be cool.
Because there was a situation where like Riddle was in that picture, and like sweet Riddle's maybe getting a run, but then with Keith out because his partner Nia Jax, or Reckoning as she's known on the main roster, was out with COVID. I presume that they were like, well, shit, we can't do what we had planned. Maybe we'll let Riddle have that shot. And now that he's back, it's like easy done. Jump in. You know, maybe it's a circumstance of Riddle might eat. Like if Riddle eats the pin at Chamber, Keith still has an opportunity.
Yeah. I'm for it. I think I'd rather see, like, going forward, I think I would rather see, like, Lee versus Lashley, and then Lee take the title, and then I'd like to see, like, a friendly battle between Lee and Riddle. I think that would be cool.
Because that's what we saw here as well, because what they mentioned, it's a match we've never seen before. Now, upon recollection, I presume I'm going to have to take that at face value, because I don't recall seeing them go one-on-one at NXT. But it was weird when they said it. I was like, because they said at WWE, right? Now, does that include NXT or is that just on main roster? Because just on main roster, 100%, they've never been a one-on-one. But like NXT, I'm positive. Yeah. But yeah, no, it was fantastic. It's two dudes that I'm a big fan of going ham. There was, big spirit bomb. There was the good hip and shoulder. There was fantastic, Broton bombs and Bro Derek. It was really, really good. And as you said, it was a friendly match between the two. It did end in a mutual, shaking of hands and agreement with one another. And like, that's the ending that I'd want to see.
They're the best matches. They're the best matches, is that mutual respect there. So yeah, I'm down for it. I'm down to see it going forward. I feel like it really brings something more to this whole Lashley United States Championship thing. Like, yeah.
Yeah, and it was a good way to show. It was a good way for them to show how they are in the ring, right? Oh, there you go. You're gone, then you're back. Hi. It was a good way for sort of Keith to show his power, his strength, his dominant ability within the ring, using that raw power that he does possess. And then secondary, it allows Riddle the opportunity to showcase his what's I'm looking for. His counter ability, where he was able to counter all these big hits, these big maneuvers, but while also show that strong and fast offense that comes from his MMA history. It was overall, I cannot fault it. I thought it was fantastic. And once again, it only comes down to me being pretty heavily biased on those two individuals, and I know that, and I'm happy to admit that, because for me, that is what I'm 100% into.
And I'm back.
Cool. Good timing. I just had a big chat about why I was really excited about this match.
Yeah.
What else jumped out of you, Jem, from the SmackDown or the Raws?
Let's just stick to Raw for now and get it out of
the way. Yeah, good idea.
So we did see another Elimination Chamber match come together, which was Lacey Evans came out with Ric Flair, and they cut a promo talking about, like what Rick did on Talking Raw, just saying it's a purely professional and casual relationship. Yep, Raw Talk, yep. As they're discussing this, Flair mentions that he's basically training Lacey Evans to take on Asuka. Like, Lacey wants Asuka's belt. And Charlotte obviously comes out and interrupts because, and an argument fights, and like Lacey's just like, look, I could beat you in a one-on-one competition and I will get that title match. So a match starts and Charlotte Flair ends up getting disqualified because she doesn't really care about a title match. She just wants to hurt Lacey Evans.
Yeah, spot on.
So yeah, she refused to stop attacking. She shoved the official, which obviously technically gave Lacey the win. So at Elimination Chamber, we will see Lacey Evans versus Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship, which I think is good because I feel like it needs to be somebody other than Charlotte. Like you can already tell it's going to that, like, you know, we were tag team partners and now we're not because Charlotte's drama. Like, that was too predictable.
Yeah.
So I was glad that this is coming to something else first. And it's sort of, it's like refreshing the palette, basically. It's just clearing everything out and giving us something new to think about. And obviously, like, Charlotte Flair's going to make sure that Lacey doesn't win at Chamber, and I'm all for it.
Yeah, it is one of those things. So I see this going in one direction. Now, we're talking about Ric Flair, like, you know, the dirtiest players in the game. Now, I'm just going to put it out there. Like, I understand with a title shot, it must be a win by pinfall or submission, no DQ, and, you know, because the champion's advantage or whatever. However, I feel that Lacey, under the guidance of Ric Flair, may come out with the win here, and therefore leading to presumably Charlotte taking it at Mania.
That's fair. Yep, that works. That works very well.
Yeah, or either way, yeah, because like Asuka, she's fantastic, and I kind of don't want her to have to lose to Lacey Evans in order to proceed this storyline, because Asuka's she's better and stronger than that. But it's that idea of that involvement from Ric Flair, I think, is such a massive factor in this story.
Oh yeah.
That's where it's going to play a giant role. I do see it ending up with whatever scenario it does. It is going to end with that belt on Charlotte. But it's how we get there, I think, where it's kind of has the potential to be something interesting.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Seeing as we're pretty confident that, you know, the Royal Rumble winners, so the winner Belair is not going to go for Asuka. You know, so it leaves Asuka to sort of take an L or Charlotte or whatever. I don't know. It's got to end with Charlotte. That's kind of where I'm at with it. But how we get there is because I don't think Lana should hold the title.
Lacey.
Sorry, who'd I say?
Lana.
God damn it. I don't think Lana should hold it either. But I don't think Lacey should hold the title, but it may be where it needs to go. And as Dash says in the chat, it is an awkward storyline, to say the least. To add to that, though, I really appreciate Ric Flair coming out into the ring and addressing the storyline, like addressing where he's coming from, and that it isn't woman banging old dude. But it's funny that I did watch Tom Colahue's Raw review, and he's like, why not? I'd bang Ric Flair if I had the opportunity. Like, who the fuck wouldn't? It's Ric Flair.
Right. Exactly right.
You get me in a room with Ric Flair, I'm probably going to try fuck him.
Yeah, easily.
Just because
I can. Hey man, you're great. Can I suck your dick?
Yeah, like, hey, Ric Flair, how's that old dick doing, you know?
Yeah, why don't you show me? Dick, or it didn't happen. Now, we did see a little bit more of the whole New Day Retribution thing, which Kofi and Xavier Woods did defeat Slapjack and T-Bar.
Yeah, so Kofi back after his injury, not being cleared at WrestleMania. However, he is now cleared, was cleared for this match.
You mean Royal Rumble?
Yeah, Royal Rumble. I'm tired. It's a long day.
It's all a blur.
He may not be cleared for Mania. I don't fucking know. It's up in the air.
Yeah.
But of course, it did end in a good win for the New Day, which I appreciate. And then it did also end with Xavier Woods leaving, yelling about wanting to fight Reckoning. So
yeah, good.
It's not just a sides thing anymore. It's on the main show. And I understand that Xavier Woods is sort of his own advocate, and for better or worse, he's very much there. Yelling, like, he was yelling about being the king of the ring at one point. You know, he's also yelled about, like, obviously this and Xavier Woods is fantastic. So
he's great.
He's very, like, he could push a story into existence. Mm-hmm. And because I hope there's a new king of the ring this year, and I hope he advocates again. But until then, I hope right now he's going to be pushing for that intergender match.
I'm down for it. Let's do it. It's about time. Oh man, that would be perfect. Could you imagine if it was them in the Elimination Chamber?
Yeah, it was just, yeah.
It's like the New Day, and then like and the others it's bloody what?
Yeah,
they
New
call
Day
it?
and all of
then-
Retribution.
Yeah, and the match just starts with Xavier Woods and Reckoning. Like, could you imagine?
Oh no! So what would happen is, so you got Xavier Woods. He's in there at start of it. All of Retribution are in the pods because only 4 pods, I think, 5 pods.
Yeah,
4 pods. So you've got the 4 members, and then one by one, but Reckoning comes out last.
Oh yeah, that would.
So
be
he has to
perfect.
gauntlet his way to Reckoning.
Yeah, that would be
That'd
amazing.
be cool. And then Miriam just kicks his face in.
Oh yeah, easily. But afterwards, obviously, Mustafa's like shouting that he vows he would give his life to get retribution on Kofi Kingston.
Commitment to the bit. Yeah, he was pretty interesting on commentary. Had a lot to say. Not a lot of it was landing for me personally. You know, because it's one of those things. A lot about this corrupt company. And I'm like, dude, you signed contracts, man.
Yeah,
if it's so corrupt, why are you part of that? You understand, like, you know, if they're like, we're trying to break it from the inside, I'm like, I don't believe you.
Yeah, I mean, look at the Hurt business. Like, I honestly think that is going on. Like, it's breaking up from the inside out at the hands of Cedric Alexander. Ali's going the wrong way about it. It's not landing.
Yeah, it's just it is. It's tough to explain. Like, I understand when you're trying to fight the man, but if you're actively being involved with the man, it's a tough sell for me personally.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Either way,
we saw a little bit of Bianca Belair get interviewed because she, in the same way that Edge is, we'll touch on both of them at the same time. Yeah, big old
both Edge and Belair still are yet to announce who they are going to be taking on at WrestleMania with their Royal Rumbaroo wins, which is fine. Like, they're both sort of playing the smart game. Like, they're holding out because Belair is unsure and she thinks she doesn't know where it's going to go, but we're pretty confident at Sasha. Edge, on the other hand, he played a smarter game because, surprisingly, opening the show, Adam Pearce in the ring, and here comes the money. Shane O'Mac. Sweaty O'Shane is back.
Sweaty O'Mac.
He is sweaty, and he was instantly sweaty. Like, he was in that ring, and he was glowing. He was beaming. His face was just reflective. And as Dash said, Jesus, he was sweaty. He was. He did his little skibbity doodah, came in the ring to announce the one of the chamber matches, and then proceeded to sweat profusely.
Yes, he did.
So he announced that at the Elimination Chamber, one of those chamber matches is involving Drew McIntyre and his WWE Championship, including five and other ex-championship winners, all within that thingy.
Yeah, 5, because it's your champion, 4 pods, and 1 in the ring to start off with.
Yes, there you go.
So it's 5 total.
Yeah, so it's 6 people in total, yeah. So we had Drew McIntyre, obviously, Legend Killer, Randy Orton, Jeff Hardy, the charismatic enigma, Sheamus, who is there and he's fighting Irish. Who else?
And AJ Styles.
And AJ Styles, no Omos. Omos is omitted from the thing.
Yes. So so that's that. We did obviously see a match with AJ Styles and Jeff Hardy, which AJ Styles did.
Yeah, so AJ was there pretty much essentially being like, here's an example of the match, you know, that you're going to see at Elimination Chamber, la-di-da-di-da, and that's kind of where it went. Now, before we jump into that match in just a second, Dash did point out, he goes that old Shwetty is looking a little bit slimmer, and he thinks that he may be training for a Mania match. Now, Dash has since retired from his dirt sheet Dash. We haven't seen him in a little while. He's kind of stepping back from the behind the scenes of the wrestling game. But I'm sure he may have heard some things around the places, you know, like Shane O'Mac. We haven't seen him in a while. Last time we saw him was getting sweaty with Miz and Miz Dad or Papa Miz. shit, and back in the day, and then had the loser leaves the company match against Kevin Owens.
Yep, and then we saw that little stint of Underground.
And then we saw Underground as well, which, you know, that died in the butt. And then as Shane was heading into the back area, he stopped and looked at Omos and was like, yeah, man, because Omos was previously the bouncer for Raw Underground.
Yeah. It sure was. But yeah, basically, we saw an Elimination Chamber mini exhibition.
Yeah, and there was a lot of throwbacks to this in this match, primarily around the leg injury that Jeff Hardy received at the hands of AJ Styles back at around SummerSlam last year. Okay, it's cool. I do like that little bit of return. That shows that, you know, AJ Styles is switched on. And of course, with Jeff Hardy being the acrobat that he is, if you take down his legs, it's very unlikely he'll be able to achieve what he needs to, because for him, it's all about getting up high and doing what the dude does.
Yeah, exactly right. There was also a promo from Edge regarding all of this.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was leading into. So I've got
so it's a spanner in the works for Edge.
Big time. So Edge was like, I thought I had my decision because he went to Raw, he went to SmackDown, he went to NXT, and he name checked all the champions, obviously Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre, and Finn Balor. Mm-hmm. He said he had his decision in mind, and then Shane Old Shweddy came out and dropped his Shweddy news. And it was a circumstance of, well, now I don't know what I'm going to do, because I want to, if I was going to, I'd fight Drew. Like, I'm not going to, I don't know who the fuck else is going to, like, what happens at Chamber. Yeah. So he is playing the smart game and holding back on announcing his decision. He's the ultimate opportunist.
This is 110% the Rated R superstar, and I love it.
Well, that's what I was going to bring up, Jem, because, as you said, like, he is that opportunist. Now, tell me a bit about that in terms of Edge's history, and how is that playing into this?
So Edge is a bit more of a dirty player. Like, when you think of people, when you think of Edge, you think of the Edge and Lita days, the prime time for the Rated R superstar. He would take any opportunity that presented itself, whether it was the ref turning for 2 seconds and he could get a low blow, or, very wisely picking his battles, knowing who he's competing against and their weaknesses and things like that. Edge was really good like that. So this is definitely like, Edge is scouting the competition and picking what he knows he can challenge the best. Mm-hmm. Like somebody that's going to give him a run for his money, but he knows ultimately that he will walk out with the title. Now, in saying that, Miz does make himself...
Oh, the Miz is also in the match too. Yes, of course.
Oh, yeah, the Miz is, isn't he? And he's playing the whole, like, whoever wins, I'm going to cash in the money in the bank. And... I have a funny feeling. I don't know. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see Miz like, I'm going to cash in money in the bank. I'm going to cash in money in the bank. And then get to that point where he doesn't. And it times out.
Yeah, I think it's either going to go two ways. Yeah, either he wins it organically, which is very unlikely, or he ends up being unable to do it. Or he attempts to use the briefcase in the chamber, which makes no sense. But
it gets taken off him.
Yeah, like and then gets eliminated. That'd be amazing.
Yeah,
like he thinks he has it, or he thinks he's about to lose his shot, or something. I don't know how they'd play it into the chamber, because it doesn't quite fit the rules. Because he would still have to. Yeah. Because if he comes out the victor, okay, then he's got the title. But we're at a circumstance. I'm waiting. We've got until June. Until it runs out. So he's got a little bit of time up his sleeve to really work on his plan. But he's had it since like October, and we saw that one semi-potential cash-in that turned out it wasn't. Is that your thing? Do you think he's going to run out of time?
I think so. I think he's going to play the I'll challenge this person, and then somehow it'll just not happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not...
I don't know. Because I just don't see it going anywhere. I really don't. I don't think there's a championship in the future for Miz at the moment.
Yeah, I'm in a similar boat. Like, I don't see him in the Intercontinental. I don't see him in the US minimum, and he's certainly not involved in the WWE Champion. Like, he's there, but I don't see he should be, and he's certainly not a part of the Universal Championship story. Like, he is not going to be touching that at all, and that's Okay. Unless he does what we originally predicted that Otis was going to do, which would be to take on the tag belts, but I don't see that being the case.
Yeah. No, definitely not.
Man. Yeah. So I felt we pretty much wrapped up Raw there. There's not a whole lot left.
There was, the last thing there is the Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, which Randy Orton won via disqualification.
Yeah, because Sheamus came in with the Brogue Kick. So once again, it's another sort of hinting at Chamber, which is fine.
Yeah. It's definitely, we're obviously in that home stretch of like Chamber setup. So obviously like our matches now are setting up for what we're going to see parts of at Elimination Chamber. So it's definitely at that point. I mean, it was really cool to see like Shane O'Mac. We haven't seen him in a little bit, and having Rick and Lacey come out and clarify that it's a strictly professional relationship was a very smart move. I think that was a really good move as well.
Now, I'm not saying that we have any say or sway in the wrestling space, but I'm going to say it. Here we are last week being like, why aren't they saying that? Bring Rick in the middle of the ring, get him to say it on television. Yeah. Happens.
They listen to
us. There's been quite a number of times where we have made statements and we said, WWE should do this, and sure enough, they do it. Either we're right on the money or they're listening is what I'm getting at. So this is sometimes we get it really wrong, and sometimes we might be the guys in the know, you know.
Sometimes they share a brain cell with us. That's
right. Whether it be, you know, because look, if you are part of the biz, you scout who's out there. You know, you take in all the information that you can. Like, I'm sure they listen to, like, What Culture and Talking in Raw, and I'm sure they're guaranteed to listen to Wrestling Observer, you know, and then there's the Young and the Wrestlers as well. Like, the name alone, they're like, probably should pay attention to this. These guys may know what's up. Do we know what's up? I don't know. But
What's up?
Yeah.
Our Truth does.
Yeah, that's true. And, maybe they're taking some on board. Just saying. All right, let's get into SmackDown, Jem.
SmackDown? So let's touch on the biggest thing here, which was obviously Bianca Belair hinting that she's going after Sasha Banks. Where are we? So basically it's Belair and Banks, and then Carmella comes out and she's like, well, like, I get an opportunity first because I've already pinned her twice. And basically I don't even remember. I do. I remember that Belair slapped Reginald with her hair. That was pretty grouse. But basically it was just a setup for Sasha and Belair. It looks like it's definitely going that way, even though it was a hard tease and it was never announced. It looks like it definitely looks like Belair is going to make the announcement that she's going to be taking on Banks at WrestleMania.
With no plans for that title at Elimination Chamber currently. Now that all could change when this coming Saturday, but with nothing planned for it right now, it's very possible.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, obviously Carmella came. It's looking like it may be heading towards like a triple threat as well. Obviously Carmella's still trying to interject herself into this thing, and.
But as we discussed last week, this would be Carmella's fourth go at the title in a row. Unlike, you know, I can't see that being any sort of... I can't see there being any justification for that. Now, granted, Carmella's not got a whole bunch else to do, but...
Yeah.
Whoop-de-fucking-do.
Her whole thing was just basically coming out to tell Bianca Belair, like, because it was like Belair, then Carmella and Reginald came out, and then Banks came out after because she was mentioned. Carmella comes out on the whole, like, I have 2 wins over Sasha Banks, and I could easily do that over you too. And that's when Sasha Banks comes out. But yeah, obviously Reginald
in this weird like wetsuit outfit. I say it was weird only because I don't know how she got it on. Is the real question. Like it's
definitely lubricant.
Yeah, I'm constantly baffled about how Sasha Banks gets in her outfits. Like she pulls them off something fierce, but how does she get them on?
Yeah,
is it talcum powder? Is it like some sort of lubricant?
Yeah,
I'm impressed.
There has to be something. But yeah, so ultimately, like, it ended with Reginald's interruption causing Valia to slap him one with her hair, and we didn't get an answer.
With included
And
whip
obviously
noises, which was silly.
Oh, yeah, stupid. But obviously, it's pretty obvious that the EST is going for the banks.
Yep.
She's going to the banks. Now, let's just get this out of the way. Hulk Hogan decided to come on to talk about the anniversary of his loss to Andre the Giant at Main Event 33.
I have so much to say about this, not in a good way. So it is currently Black History Month in the US. It was the month of February.
Oh, it is too.
They as they should. They had a little showcase, a little footage, a little segment, a little vignette of Black History Month, and a lot of very important quotes, and having a lot of the African American wrestlers, the superstars, read those statements. Mm-hmm. They then followed that with Hulk Hogan's segment. Hulk Hogan, a on the record racist.
No.
Explicitly, specifically against African Americans. How fucking tone deaf can the WWE be?
Society has moved past the need for Hulk Hogan. Let him go.
We don't need Hulk Hogan, nor should he be placed after that segment. He should be as far away from that segment as possible. There is lots of communication. There's lots out there about any of the African American members of the roster having a massive disdain for the man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then they have him follow that very important vignette. Like it's a vignette, right? It's nothing too groundbreaking, but it means something, and it means something when you put fucking Hulk Hogan behind it. It's disgusting.
Yeah, ridiculous. I can't with it. We've moved past the need for Hulk Hogan. Stop showing him. That simple. What else did we see? We saw another New Day win. Big E defeated both Apollo Crews and Sami Zayn via pinfall. After he hit Apollo Crews with a big ending. Good match. Hell of a good match. Obviously, I mean, this makes the New Day look strong coming into Elimination Chamber.
In general.
And it's looking like it may be setting up an Elimination Chamber match for Big E for the title.
Yeah. So that's the thing I'm not sure, because I was thinking about this once they announced the WWE Championship. Now, presumably one chamber match will be Raw, one will be SmackDown. And as I said,
have the other matches in between.
I don't see it being tagged, and I don't see Roman doing it. So I think you're spot on. I didn't really I wasn't settled on it, but I think you might be right.
Yeah, I definitely feel like somehow there's going to be something. There needs to be something because 2 chamber matches.
Or maybe Sasha, maybe the women's championship, but
maybe who knows? I mean, at the moment, it's looking pretty promising for the women's tag team championships at Chamber.
It's very possible.
You got you got Mandy and Dana, then you've got Lana and Naomi, and you've got Charlotte and Asuka, and then obviously your chair.
And we've come to learn that the winner of the Dusty Rhodes Classic at NXT will get an opportunity at the tag titles as well.
Oh, beautiful!
Because they've got the women's championship, tournament going on right now.
Yeah, they do.
So that could certainly fill that chamber up. Now, the only hurdle with that is with Lana and Naomi having an opportunity between now and then. It's that weird line of they should really have their own shot before they go and do that shot. Before we jump into that though, Delicate Stone, my good friend and fellow Manshake ambassador Lloyd, has just resubscribed for his tier 1 sub for his 4th month in a row. Thank you very much, Lloyd.
Thank you. Look, I agree. I think they should have something beforehand, but at the same time, I don't know. It'd be exciting to see them take it out in the chamber.
Yeah, I think a chamber would be a good. I do like tag matches in Chambers. Ever since I saw, I think it was Lucha House Party hanging from the roof.
Oh, yeah. It was too.
And I was like, put tag matches in here. Because I think New Day have been in there. I remember Usos had a good run in there as well.
Yeah, the Usos were in it. Yeah. That was really cool, that one. The more people in the chamber, the more exciting it can be. So, like, bring it on.
Yeah. If need be, I think they can put that in. For the women's, because the men's tags are not doing a whole lot right now. Wait, who even is it?
No, I was going to say, speaking of men's tag teams, like, go on. Sorry, you're talking about chamber.
No, when it comes to the tag titles, I'm like, who's the Raw tag champions right now? Who's the SmackDown tag champions right now?
Yeah, shit.
It's Rudolph on SmackDown.
It's Rudolph on SmackDown.
But who's Raw?
Yeah. Shit, I don't remember. Oh, it's Hurt Business.
Who's two?
Yeah, Benjamin and Alexander.
And that point, that puts something out there. We're like, I don't know.
I don't fucking know. Yeah, because it's not relevant. But yeah, speaking of the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler did get a win over Otis and Chad Gable, which I think is ridiculous. You break up a tag team just to put them in another tag team. Like, fucking stop with that. Just stop with it.
But yeah, the Raw Dogs, they come out and started raw dogging everyone in the ring.
Yeah. See, I loved Otis and Tucker as a tag team. I love Heavy Machinery. I love what they're about. Same with the Iconics. But no, they have to ruin a good fucking thing, don't they?
Yeah, I don't really know why they do that.
Yeah.
Like, unless there's something to do with Tucker, but even then, like, was he injured? No, he came back from injury and then did his thing. So I don't really know.
Yeah, it's stupid, especially because you see, like, we did see a match with Bayley versus Ruby Riott, and obviously Billie Kay was there to try and still be a part of the Riott Squad. It's like, you've broken up her tag team. Don't try and push her into another tag team. Like, but, Billie Kay did cause a distraction by getting into a fight with Liv Morgan ringside, which caused Bayley to get the win over Riott. I think I'm over this whole thing with Billie Kay, like, especially after seeing that little Iconic snippet at Rumble. I was like, just put the Iconics back together. This is dumb.
I like Billie. I think she has the potential to still be fucking awesome. However, I think connecting her to the Riott Squad might not be, like, the right call for her. No. Like, I appreciate the whole, like, her wanting to be in a team. Yeah. Because it throws in this sort of weird, this interesting narrative around her feeling that she needs to be in a team because that's who she is. That's who she's been.
Yeah. That's fair.
And in terms of a character perspective, they haven't really touched upon it. Yeah. But it's there with the fact that she's constantly seeking a partner.
Yeah, it makes sense. It really does. And then we obviously had our filler match for the night, which was Cesaro and Daniel Bryan, which Cesaro
good, like, actual technically proficient wrestling match. Oh, yeah. Though.
Technically beautiful. And I think that's why it's a good filler match, because those two don't need a storyline because they're just phenomenal performers.
So you just want a good exhibition match, and they're the ones that deliver it.
Exactly right. And then last piece for the night is more... I still don't know why this is going on. I forgot it was a thing until I watched it. Is the Mysterios and Baron Corbin. It's still happening. Now, I hate the storyline, but at the same time, I love it because it's putting pieces of the puzzle together. Like, obviously, we heard a couple of weeks ago, Dominic Mysterio was saying Dad and I are going for the tag team titles. And this was, Dominic got the win because Ray was hiding out under the ring to help Dominic get the win. So Ray pops out, helps Dominic get the win. So to me, that's them working as a team. That's their tag team coming together and those pieces of the puzzle coming together to push them into the tag team picture. Yeah. And I think that's great because if the belts are going to go anywhere, I think the belts should go to the Mysterios before Ray's done. And I think that should happen. I'd call it a Mania moment.
That would be a Mania moment, yeah.
That's a Mania moment to me, is father and son winning their first tag team titles together. I think that's where it's headed. How it's going to get there, I don't know. But I think that needs to happen, and I'm all for that happening. Obviously, the nostalgia in me is like, I remember when he was this big, and now he's 7 stories tall and 7 times bigger than his dad. Once he was smaller. And there is a lot of nostalgia there for me with that. So I think it's leading to that. But I honestly don't think we will see Rey Mysterio past the end of this year.
Yeah, I think he's sort of coming it to the end, and yeah.
So I think he's just hanging in there for Dominic to get this one last title reign with Dom, and then I think it'll be Dominic taking over the Mysterio legacy.
I heard something interesting this week. Where this is sort of related. This is related to this. So we know that. So Baron Corbin had his little 2 dudes following him. Was it the
Oh yeah.
The wolf pack or whatever, the lone wolf pack.
Yeah.
So one of them got fired because he has COVID. I think it was Cutler. Yeah, it was Cutler.
Yeah,
Steve
I did
Cutler.
see that.
So Steve Cutler got the sack because he had got COVID. One of the first people in the company, well, only person in the company so far to be fired because of the global pandemic. However, I also saw the speculation that because of that and the removal of those 2 individuals from the storyline is why we're not seeing Buddy Murphy right now.
Ah, of course.
Because Buddy Murphy, in theory, would be part of the trio of Ray, Dominic, and Buddy. Where now that Baron Corbin is just Baron Corbin, or Baron Corbin and the other guy who's also sort of received a rough end of the stick because of it. So it is that weird sort of space. So instead of doing the 3-on-3 that I presume they had planned, they then went to a 2-on-2, and then they went to a 2-on-1. From what I've heard, anyway.
That makes sense.
Which is a bummer because like knowing that Seth Rollins is coming back like next week, like that would be cool. But I don't see him going back to Seth Rollins just yet. Yeah,
exactly right. Unless he has like a tragic breakup.
Yeah, but we also haven't seen Aaliyah either, or Mama Mysterio. We haven't seen Angie. I'm sure friend of the show Josh Robinson is fucking heartbroken. We haven't seen Angie yet.
She's a babe.
The only thing we have discussed yet is the big dog.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the big dog. So yeah, for some reason the big dog thinks that Edge is being disrespectful. Disrespectful.
Because once again, this is hitting that ego that we were discussing. I think you were discussing specifically around Roman.
Yeah. So yeah, his ego is obviously in a position where anybody who doesn't do what he says or does what he wants them to do, in his mind, like Edge hadn't done anything. Edge wasn't even in the arena, but for some reason Roman Reigns was like, he's disrespecting me by not being here. Like, he's got this huge ego on him. Obviously, he's demanding that Paul Heyman bring out Edge. Find out Edge is not there. Roman's like, disrespect.
Yeah, so
legacy family.
I think this plays into, as we said, to what we alluded to, the Roman Reigns ego. It's him going, why are you not picking me? I am the dominant champion. Why? Like, if you want to be the ultimate winner, if you want to demonstrate that you are the guy that you say you are, fight me.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's that weird balance with it's like, why aren't you choosing me? But at the same time, it's like, I choose my opponents. It's like,
yeah, it's a bit of both. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that weird balance of like, why aren't you choosing me? Because it's basically like, I'm choosing you. Why isn't this at a mutual agreement? And that's why he feels disrespected. And it ultimately ends up like Edge ends up coming out later in the night. And it ends up with KO flattening Roman Reigns again.
Yeah,
so obviously
Stunnables.
Yeah, so Reigns touches very briefly on his win against KO before he goes on his spiel, his little ego tirade. And then, obviously later in the night, Edge comes down, and as he's coming down, he's smirking. There's a smile on his face, and then suddenly Reigns gets turned around and KO just drops him, which I thought was beautiful. That was a good way to do it. But yeah, I don't know. This is a weird one. I definitely think Edge will be heading for McIntyre.
Mm-hmm. As we said last week, there's a lot of hints. He talks about the title that he never lost, which is not the Universal title. It is the WWE Heavyweight Championship. WWE Championship, sorry. And that is what he is going for.
But it also makes me wonder in that respect, like, what is going for Reigns in the future? Like, where is his championship going? Like, are we going to see another fight with him and KO? I don't think so.
Yeah, in the same way that he and that Carmella and Banks is too much, this is in that same boat.
Yeah, definitely. And it's that weird space of, like, you know, it's kind of like an Oscar space where, like, at the moment, there really isn't anything for Roman. Well,
it's the story. It's because look, I'll say it. I'm confident that it was building to the Rock at Mania. Yeah. But at the Hollywood Mania has been shifted to 2 years from now. Mm-hmm. And I'd like to think that they're readjusting the story. I still think it's going to end in a retirement match for Daniel Bryan. Like, it's either a retirement match for Edge or a retirement match for Daniel Bryan. Because as we were discussing, every match that Roman's been in up into since his return and that he's defended his title has been a stipulation match. And that includes the steel cage match, includes, like a last man standing, whatever, right? There's a lot. Yeah. Every one of them has been stipulation. And as we discussed last week, what is the ultimate stipulation? You're fucking done. Yeah. You are retired if you lose. And we think Daniel Bryan's going to retire soon. And maybe Edge wants to retire on his own back. And that might happen at Mania. Or, but actually saying that though, I kind of also think that Edge may take the title one more time.
Yeah.
And then put over someone when he loses it.
Yeah. And I definitely think it's going that way. I think that's the best way for it to go as well. But it's a tricky one. I don't know.
But yes, how they get Daniel Bryan back into that story is what's interesting, because
a hard one.
Everyone, including myself, thought that Bryan was going to win the Rumble.
Yeah, definitely.
But they didn't go. That path wasn't the way it went. So as a result, how do we get him back in? I think that's the big thing. Like, I know he's sort of been bussing with the Uso, and Usos. I had that match with Cesaro, which doesn't really fit that bigger story. But I know I'm sitting here thinking right now, I'm like, how do they put it together? And I can't quite get it. I can't quite get there.
Yeah, it's a tricky one.
That's all right.
I mean, the way it looks, though, at least they've got time to put something together.
Very true.
That's a good start, So, yeah.
Still a little bit of time. There's still at least 2 more pay-per-views. They can sort of find a way to get things together, as well as X amount of weeks, still a couple of months. But anyways, so that does bring us to the end of the show this week. We've discussed both Raw and SmackDown.
Basically 2 episodes of cocktails.
Yeah, not an absolute horrid week. Not a brilliant week by any stretch. The only thing that was brilliant was Nia Jax blowing out a butt.
I know.
Causing rectal trauma.
It was a holy episode.
Actually, you know what? I'm sure it's not the first time I've said the highlight of this week was rectal trauma. I guarantee it's not the first time I've said it. But yeah, that was probably the best standout moment.
And the memes that came with it.
Dash Gamer in the chat adds, Tushy, a company that produces bidets used for washing the lower regions of the human body, issued the following press release in response to Nia Jax hurting her hole on Raw. Dear Nia Jax, I saw what transpired last night during Raw. My condolences to your hole. That looked like it hurt. To help ease some of your pain, I'd like to send you a free Tushy Spa 3.0 bidet to install. I imagine things are a bit tender up there right now. Up there is a good choice of words. With lots of sensitive nerve endings. Wiping with dry tissue may irritate and damage the area further. With a Tushy Spa 3.0, you can spray your bum with water. It'll help it feel cleaner, fresher, and healthier in no time. We can also send you a Tushy Travel, a portable bidet, perfect for people who poop when they're out and about, to have on hand in case you need it and for as long as your pain persists. Lastly, we'd love for you to be a Tushy brand ambassador and speak to the many features our bidet offers athletes. Let me know if you're interested in a free Tushy and Tushy Travel. I'll send one to you ASAP.
Oh, that's wholesome.
They're like, your butthole hurts. Here's a wipe.
How would your butthole like to be the spokesperson for our brand?
This is Nia Jax. Her tuchus is part of this.
I mean, she exploded on the internet. She's huge now, so why not?
That's true.
Take it and run with it.
That's a butt you might want to get behind in this COVID, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, as we said, this does bring us to the end of the show. Let us know what you thought of this week's episode of Raw and SmackDown. We'll be back next week to chat some more. Thank you for joining me, as always, Jem. It's never the same without you.
It's never this pink either.
It is never this pink. So until next week, I'm Ryan Betson alongside Jem Morgan.
And her hole.
And her hole. We'll be back next week to talk Raw and Smackers, as our good friend show Craig called in a text message by accident, and I think it's going to stick. Because what we do here is we rename shit for our own entertainment, and Smackers is part of it. We've got Rippers and Smackers. And,
we've got Rippers and Smackers.
And Shweddy Omac, and Granddaddy Orton, and Drew, and Shamoose.
Mm-hmm.
And
the Tumbly Blues.
The Tumbly Blues and the Eagle Pills. We make our own universe here. It's a ton of fun. We'll see you next week.